It's back! But I'm going to sit here for a minute, because I feel jinxed now. This has been happening a lot. Oh my god. I don't know what it's been. There were problems in Guitar Man's stream, there were problems in the Nightfire stream, there's a problem in this stream where my camera crashed. Oh my, mamma mia. Thank you for welcoming me back. Oh man. Okay, so all things hopefully working now. Let's get this. You can see what I'm doing. This is fine and it will have to do. I don't know what else to tell you. Let's keep painting. Here I was going, oh, this is actually going really quick, and it's going great. And no, he's breaking. But yes, feeling a little bit more confident. Hopefully things will stay as they are, because I like it when things work, and I don't like it when things don't work. I am but a simple soul like that. It is nice when things work. So now you can see me painting! Yay! Am I a little out of focus? The problem is that I wouldn't have been able to put the camera back in the exact same position, so I'm going to have to do a little autoing. Check out my hand. Don't look at this box. Look at my hand. Look at this guy. Look at how cool this guy is. Look at my hand, not the box. Okay, stay like that, stay like that, stay like that, stay like that, stay like that. Okay, actually, this hand, keep looking at that, keep looking at that, keep looking at. Don't look at my other hand. Look at this hand, and there we go. Now I'll stay in focus. Seems to always be something going on. It just seems to be the way of it. But now we're just painting and it's all good. And that's what I want. Nice and chill. A little bit here. Just sort of places where it will catch the light. That's what you want. Won't catch the light on the butt. Everyone knows that butts are not reflective. That's how science works. Listen to me, I've got a physics degree. The butt just doesn't catch the light. It's like a black body. Black body radiation. That's how it works. Yeah. How Shorts would say this does not reflect light at the back. Only if they are like fluorescent. They need to just be the most like eye-searingly like blinding shorts in the universe, and to say that. Get those little fingers. Get those fingers. That's the thing, is that this isn't even taking that long to paint. I'm just having a wild time with the technical stuff. Yeah, that's looking alright. The good thing about a stream like this is because it goes on so long, it means people show up kind of whenever, and it doesn't really make a huge odds. Yes. Just thinking about this part here. I want to catch the light with this, but this part should not catch the light because it is, Ooh, funky. We've got the funk going on. It's here, folks. The funk is upon us. Yeah, maybe a little bit here-ish, but not too much. Not too much. Just a little catching of the light like that. On here too. Just enough catching the light to go, hey, this thing's here. But not too much. Yes. I think this one, it didn't need too much. I got interrupted halfway through, but this one's looking pretty good. You can go over there. And then we get another one. Fun. Yes, the make of this lamp is a Sebida? I don't know what, I don't know who makes it and from where, but that's the name of the name of the manufacturers. So I'm probably going to get one of those for myself. Get that edge. Show it who's boss. Show it that I am not to be messed with. I keep reflexively looking up now, just to make sure it's still there. Go get this bit here. Get these sides. Get this bit here. Lush. Apparently, Games Workshop, who are the people who make this, they sell a little stand that you can put these on at the base, and that's apparently meant to help help you hold it while painting. But I can't imagine using one of those here while streaming. I think that would be a bad idea. This is great because it's good for the camera to see where I'm painting, but it's also good for me to see where I'm painting. I seem to have picked the perfect spot. No idea whether I'll be able to use it again, but it's good to know that the possibility exists. A little bit in there, in the shoulder crease. Part of me almost wishes I had like a GoPro on my head so you could just see exactly what I was painting, but I think that sounds better in theory than in practice. Yeah, no. I like the detail on these models. I like the fact that it encourages you to think about what you're putting and where. I didn't quite put that much thought into it when I was a child, but that's because I was a child and that's normal. That's why my first go around of these looked a bit blobby. Honestly, some part of my memory is maybe trying to convince me that my brother might have been the one to do the bulk of the painting, but I don't know whether that's a false memory or not. It's hard to say. He was also big on his Warhammer, and I still have the ones that he had left over when he stopped really enjoying it as a hobby. Let's get this over here. Get these fingers. Get these fingers. I think I accidentally got the gun a bit, but that's okay. I'll be able to rectify any mistakes I make later. Nice green hand. Nice green hand. Sally, do you have any painting projects going on at the moment? I know you just finished one of, it was a piece of ice that you saw and you anthropomorphized it. I thought that was cool. Something along those lines anyway. Your favourite Homestar Runner characters? Hell yes. Hell yes. This is a Homestar Runner appreciation Twitch stream, if you weren't already aware. Not you, Sally, people in general who might be watching this, because it's just a good cartoon. So yeah, done. Which side have I already done? I'm trying to remember. I think it was this side. Yeah, that side looks more painted, this side looks less painted. Therefore, probably this side that I need to go over. Yeah, that makes sense. Get these big orbs. Show me those big orbs. Ah, I'm so mature. Yes. Get this arm. Give it some light. Give it some life. Catch the rays of the sun, or suns, or whatever random alien world this little friend is on. Yes, an incredibly important piece of internet history that, even if sparse, is still around today. You're right. That being said, I think it's more common than we think it is. It just doesn't tend to get mentioned a lot. Don't quote me on that though. I wouldn't fully know. I am not what they call hip with the kids. Or newfangled Fortnite dances or whatever. That being said, I may not be down with the kids, but I'm content for them to do whatever. I did whatever. The future belongs to them. I'm only 27, I probably shouldn't be, Oh yeah, the fact that they're still going today is pretty remarkable, like, considering their main platform is gone. They've done very well for themselves. Paint the toes. Paint the toes. Paint the toes. Catch a little bit of the light here. Not going to be perfect, but that's all right by me. Yeah. Admire! Let's see if I can't get that. Oh yeah! Colours and things. Those can go over there. Let's get ourselves another one. These are actually starting to look green, which is nice. A cool green guy. That's all you want in life, is some cool green guys. Just some little dudes. It's funny, I've had to learn to be so much more patient with painting with hammers. I don't know that I'm going to do this like every time I want to do a new painting thing, but it's a nice experiment, which, as we've seen from today, there's been a lot of, you know, experiments produce different results, and they're not always the result you were expecting or wanted. But that's important. It's how you learn. And now I know to check my camera regularly, because I think it had some kind of, the camera is usually battery operated, but I currently have it plugged into the mains because it has it's got a very weird plug where the plug is basically where the battery would go, so I'm using that as an alternative means of powering the thing, and I think it doesn't always like it when I do that. I think especially doesn't like having the light plugged in as well, but needs must, so let's get some more green on that boy. Hell yeah, green time. Oh yes. Get those edges. Yes. This is going to be the rest of the stream, is me just sitting to myself going, yes! Yes! Like sickos. I never muted my phone. Doesn't matter. I've got mobile live dashboard, so if I want to monitor my thing live, that's great. I can do that. But I knew this was going to come on at some point. Hell yeah. Sally, please. I'm going to turn myself down and turn it up. I have the license for this song, this song. I am being overpowered hard by the jams. That was on purpose, but yes, I probably rebalance the... I could have just turned it up my end and that would have been fine, but no, I wanted you all to experience the jams. But yeah, no, this song is called Who Likes to Party by Kevin MacLeod. It's from a lot of things because it's a piece of licensed music. And the main thing I know it from is the Stanley Parable, but only in a really sequence-specific location. It's just such a good... It reminds me of a time when the internet was still fun, and I didn't feel deep cynicism towards it. So yeah, when I was looking at the licensing service I was thinking about going with, and I searched for funk music and this came up, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, we're going with this one. Odds are this isn't even going to be the last time that this song comes up on stream. I've got, what, 9 hours worth of music, but anything can happen. Anything in the world can happen. And I love that for me. Tell you what, if Stanley Parable does end up coming out at some point, there's going to be a deluxe edition of it. I will absolutely stream that, because that is a game that is good. I'll have to try very hard not to talk all over it though. I'm very good at talking over it too. Music just makes me so happy. If it were possible, I want you all to know that I absolutely would have gotten a APM license. I think I've talked about this in a previous stream, but I absolutely would have gotten an APM license and used some of the music from their library, but I am not a media company. I cannot afford that level of music licensing. That is out of my reach. But if I had that power, I would for sure be blasting some of APM and KPM. APM is like a wider thing, but KPM is one of the services they provide, which is... I probably wouldn't need to do it through APM because KPM is a English music library, but I would probably do it like that anyway, just because it means I could get some of the other ones. So it's like, KPM is good, there's also Russian music, Omni music are good, there's an Italian one, but I can't remember what it's called, but that's also good. Yes. Lots of music options in the world, and almost all of them far too expensive for me. Yeah. Sandy, I don't suppose I'm, that entire time I've been rambling, have I been overpowered by my music? Just to check. That would be a little bit embarrassing if I had, but I think it was probably fine. This is just some nice corporate pop. This is just some nice corporate guitar music. It's fine. Not as bad. With could be lowered a bit though. Yeah, I can. Always happy to oblige. The most important thing in this stream is me yelling about it. It's good. Good, good, good. I am happy. You're happy. I'm happy that you're happy. Let's get this. Remind my paintbrush what water is. Yes. Yes. thing that I haven't done, which wasn't smart, was I didn't eat lunch before I started this stream, so my tummy's rumbling a little bit, but I can get something after the stream ends. I'm not gonna die of starvation just because I didn't eat some chili before painting. Painting's not exactly a strenuous activity in that sense. Especially not when I know that I have a set set finishing time, so to speak. Yes, Sally. I don't know how much, because we've been friends for quite a while now. I don't know how much you know about, the deal with these guys I'm painting. How much you've had inflicted upon you via osmosis of talking to me. If you have any questions or queries about what the heck any of this is, then do not hesitate to ask, and I will answer to the best of my power. The main deal about these guys is that they are the ghosts of space elves put in robot bodies. That's their whole deal. Because it's normal and correct to put your deceased into robot bodies so that they can continue to fight for you. Yes. That's why this box is labelled Ghostbots, in honour of Ghostbot, who is a follower and also a bot that I helped run alongside Project Marley. Ghostbot is Marley's baby though, so if you want to know more about it, you should talk to them. What's these guys' moral standpoint? You remember hearing that there's no real good guys in Warhammer. Okay, so these guys are part of a group, they're part of a race called the Eldar, who way back tens of thousands of years ago, probably even further back than that, they used to rule the entire galaxy. They basically cracked technological, they lived in a post-scarcity galactic empire. So they didn't need to worry about whether they were going to eat or working or any of that sort of thing. Even when they died, their spirits would go into the sort of psychic ether realm called the warp, and they would come back, and they'd come back as a new person with all of their memories, and get to live again, and it was all really hunky-dory. But the problem is that when you live like that, in a post-scarcity, everything, the world, the universe is your oyster, and when you can do literally whatever you want, what do? And eventually these guys' answer was start a bunch of deranged sex cults. It all went a bit Hellraiser, if you're familiar with that film series. It went very Hellraiser. And some of them kind of figured out, hey, maybe we shouldn't be filling our psychic ether with all of these souls who are basically a bunch of pinheads. You never watch the film, so you can infer what it means. Yeah, it was a lot of that. So yeah, a few of these guys kind of twigged, oh, maybe we should stop doing that, and if we keep pouring all of that horny, evil energy into our psychic reincarnation place, that might break bad for us. And so they, some of them escaped really early and went on to some, uninhabited jungle planets, and became the Exodites. The guys that these are part of left a bit later, but still in time to prevent what was about to happen, or escape it at least. And they left in these big sort of planet ships called craft worlds, and so these are craft world Eldar because they live on sort of big flotillas of spaceships, and that's kind of where they live now. Almost everyone else, like most of the people who lived in this sex cult society, eventually putting all of that horny energy and evil energy and just hurting people for fun, non-consensually energy, they kind of accidentally made a god. They had their own gods who were like fairly normal pantheon-esque gods, so kind of a bunch of assholes, but not too, like, not unusually evil. But no, they ended up accidentally creating a god who was that kind of fun, sex, evilness personified, and when they woke up, they kind of went like their big first breath and sucked in most of the souls of all of the Eldar, and caused a big sort of hole in space-time where the sort of the home planets were. There's now just a big hole. It's called the Eye of Terror, and demons pour out of it. So yes, they created a new demon god whose name is Slanesh, and she has a very fun... Camber? I think I can fix it this time. Camber, we were doing so well. Let's see if I can't do something about this. This time I will not turn off the stream. I will just pull this out, pull this in, turn it back on again. You get to see all my ISO. We're back. So yeah, they all of the ones who are left. There's a couple of Hellraiser type Eldar left. They're called the Dark Eldar or the Drakari, and they go around like stealing things and raping and doing experimentation. You know, normal Hellraiser stuff. I'm rumbling. Ignore that. But the guys that I'm currently doing, they realised, hey, we really shouldn't be doing just literally whatever we want. So they kind of live in this system where everyone can only do one job at a time, and they have to commit themselves to it for long enough that they kind of get the gist and stop doing it. So they kind of move from job to job, and they focus on that, and that keeps them away from, like, you know, wanting to start wearing skin for fun. And that's where these guys come from. And one of the things that they do is that because their cycle of reincarnation is broken by the fact that there's a big evil sex god waiting to eat them, they wear these things on their chest called spirit stones, and it's just like a big polished gem, like a big round one. You can kind of see it. I don't know how well you can see it here. It's this. This is a spirit stone, this black part that I haven't painted yet, but I will be painting. Spirit stone is there so that when an Eldar dies, instead of their soul going straight into the hungry mouth of Slanesh, it gets captured by the soul stone and it just stays in there. And they have these big circuits, these big like crystalline computers inside of the craft worlds called the Infinity Circuits. And so they put all of their dead people in there if they can retrieve the soul stones, and they all get to live in there, and it's fine. It's kind of, it's about as good as living inside of a computer when you're dead gets when you are a dying race. But because there are so few of them left, they're trying to make up for their past violent actions. Good, sort of. That's like the nice version of it. They don't give a shit about humans at all. Humans, in fairness, humans in this are like big space fascists, which is also not great, but their whole thing is like, they will let tens upon thousands of humans die for a handful of Eldar lives because they are just trying to stay alive. The faction I'm playing as are... how do I put this delicately? Back when they were still doing the post-scarcity world thing and it was all hunky-dory, these guys, they they went around and terraformed a bunch of planets, and then the apocalypse happened and they didn't get to populate them, and tens of thousands of years passed, and humans and orcs and other races settled on them, and the guys that I play as took issue with that. And they basically just go around to all of these newly settled, previously terraformed planets and go, hello, please note that this planet used to belong to us and it still belongs to us, and if you don't kindly clear off, we will sterilize the planet from orbit just so you can't have it. It's it's grimdark, because Warhammer 40,000 is a grimdark setting. It's the original grimdark setting. So yes, I've been talking so long, I think I've actually painted this one. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking painted. I think I need to refocus my attentions on the new one. You put it next to the others to compare. Yes, that's looking good. So yeah, there's not really good guys except maybe the Tau, and even then it's a little bit like we're not sure what their deal is. There's space communists who are also anime mechas and kind of look like fish people, but they're more like bold cow people. But yeah, they want to do everything for the greater good, and they're the most egalitarian of the things. They will let other people join them if they wanna. If they don't wanna, there'll be a fight. But people like humans, there's actively a group of humans who have just straight up left the human side because I was saying about, we're letting tens of thousands of people die just to let a few Eldar live. In fairness, that's also how the Imperium treats humans. Yes. Rusty jugglers. Oh man. Hot Fuzz is such a good film. But yeah, they're probably the most quote-unquote good, but even then, it's still, like, there's no one really who's like, oh yeah, I can totally get behind this, and that's kind of the point. There are no heroes, because Warhammer 40,000 was invented in the late 80s, which was in England, and that means Thatcher. So they were going for, what can I say, a really like sensitive and like thoughtful portrayal of when you have authoritarians in charge who don't give a shit about protecting the people that they are ostensibly supposed to work for. Politics. Oh yeah, this is a fun tune. This tune, a nice little bit of cyberpunk, I would say. Synthwave? Synthwave. I tend to just call it cyberpunk because I associate it with the cyberpunk genre. Man, I really hope you guys can't hear my stomach, because it is rumbling. I would just have a snack, but I literally don't have anything in the house, so I should have got something this morning, but I was watching video essays instead, as one does. This one is detaching from its base slightly. Oh, it's because... Well, I can fix that later. It doesn't make a huge odds for my painting. I figured that would happen at some point. It just was a matter of time. It is nothing that a little bit of super glue can't fix. It's also the only one. All of the rest of them have this like slot that they fit into, but this one's slot broke off, so he just stands on his little toes. And that's how he stays. It's not perfect. Could certainly be better, but it's not the end of the world. when it comes to these sorts of things, you get very used to just going, yes, I can just glue that back on later. Oh man. I'm gonna have a little drink, because that might help. Ah. Nice drink of squash. Put you down there for a second. Let me hold it by this. I wanna get these top parts. This one's got an extra long antennae thing sticking out the back. It's great. So yeah, I'm trying to think, like, whether there's any like specific armies you'd be interested in yourself, but this is a very, as you can see, a very finicky hobby. So I can fully get why it mystifies a lot of people. The Space Marines are, I think, probably the most popular ones, just because there's a lot of different colours of them and they're fairly robust, and they also, like, in fairness to them, they have probably the funniest gun ever invented in sci-fi, which is the Boltcaster. Because Space Marine's standard weapon, the Boltcaster or the Bolter, is, unlike usually in sci-fi settings you get like pew pew lasers, and the Eldar are much more pew pew lasers, but the Space Marines have a gun which fires a miniature rocket which lands inside of an enemy and explodes. Like, not like a... It's not a fancy laser, it's not like a bullet, it's just more like like, they all carry basically miniature precise grenade launchers. And it's absurd, and it rules. Obviously war is bad. You don't need me to tell you that, and... Oh boy, has learning about news recently been not a fun exercise, but at least in the context of a silly tabletop game about little silly future men, that I can enjoy, and there will be... yes, that might... Yep, that is exactly... So, you know I mentioned this, like, the warp and this kind of reincarnation thing. So the Eldar are pretty finely attuned to the warp, so they have, like... They basically get... Every one of them has some level of psychic ability, and they can pursue that to become, like, warlocks or farseers, who are the mega psychic people. So they are consciously attuned to the warp, and it lets them summon, you know, lightning with their minds and that sort of thing. The orcs are unconsciously attuned to the warp, so they have the same ability to tap into that space and shift reality to their will, but they're not actually aware that they're doing it. So, it relies on their, like, collective willpower rather than the sort of individualist thing that the Eldar and other psychic races do. So they literally are able to put together machines and paint them red, and they're just literally cobbled together. If it were any other race, their technology wouldn't work. It only works because the orcs believe in it enough that they are able to make it work through the power of the warp, bending to their will. But as soon as you point out the inconsistency, it would stop working if you were somehow able to get through to them. I've definitely heard at least one joking tactic of you get these, like, Imperial Guard who are, you know, they're not Space Marines, but it's such a good concept. The orc, like, my Eldar hate they virulently hate the orcs because they're so good at taking over planets. But I personally love them because they're just... You can't hate them. They are the power of belief and violence personified. It's just such a... They're just so fun. They're just so fun. My friend John, not John Struct, this is a John with just no H, just Jon. He was showing me about a week ago that he'd been painting his as well, and that was very fun to see. He's got little orcs that he's painting. I like seeing what people get up to. But yeah, I got distracted by thinking about the orcs. Sally, I have, after Nightfire, after a couple of other games, I have a Warhammer 40,000 first-person shooter from the perspective of the Tau. So, if you want to learn more about them, come along to that stream. I think because that game's from like 2005, 2006, not all of the lore is up to date or whatever, but it's fine enough, and I think you'll probably have fun with that one. I don't think it's a good game. Like, I remember I didn't get very far in it myself, and if I recall correctly, the reviews were also not very great for it, but I like the universe enough that I wanna dive in. I wanna see what it's about. I would play something like Dawn of War because that's very comprehensive, but I'm not a big fan of the composer for the Dawn of War games. It's the same guy who composed Skyrim, and his name is Jeremy Soule, and he's kind of a bad dude, so I would prefer not to... I kind of already bought the game, so it's too late for that, but I'd rather not add to the, you know, in the same way that I've technically already, like, my family have already bought the Harry Potter books at some point in our lives, and, you know, there's not, that decision can't be undone, but I can change how I interact with it in the future, which is to say, not. I don't even know if I pronounced that guy's name right. I probably would want to double check that. You know what I mean. Let's move on from that. Fire Warrior is what we're going to be playing, and that's got Tau in it. Yes. There's also, if you're interested in it, probably, this is getting a little esoteric, but I've been watching while painting a YouTube channel called Play on Tabletop, and they do a lot of Warhammer 40,000, but there's a specific guy in their team called Tau Nick. His name's Nick, but he is Tau Nick because he is the resident Tau player, and his enthusiasm is like infectious. He's very sportsmanly. He loves the Tau. He loves all the other things. He likes the sort of... It's nice to watch because I often struggled with the whole sportsman aspect. A, because I was a teenager, and B, because I was female presenting. I don't know whether I still fully identify as a woman. I use she, they pronouns because I'm trying to give myself a little bit of leeway. But yeah, when you are perceived as woman in male-dominated sport, I say sport, male-dominated hobby, in the years of like 2006, 2012, whatever, you get a little bit of pushback. Not a lot, like not as much as I could be, but still. I had at least one instance where I was talking to the manager of my local establishment. Great guy, lovely guy. I don't know where he is now. And we were discussing setting up a battle between my Eldar and his Necrons. Necrons are basically... They started off as an army of undead Terminators and then turned into an army of undead Terminators, but also their pharaohs. Like, they leaned very hard into the whole sort of different dynasties and a lot of petty infighting, and it's great. Anyway, we were talking about that, and we were setting up a match, and it's just some other random guy in the store, not even one of the staff, just went, "Oh, you're gonna fight against a girl?" And both of us just went, "Really, dude? Like, seriously?" Anyway, I kicked the manager's ass, and it was great. We were both incredibly thrilled, just because it was a sort of... I got very lucky. I managed to kill his, like, leader of his army, and it all went very well after that. Like, that's, I think, my favourite match that I've ever played, and that was a very long time ago though, so I like the idea of being able to find that again at some point when the pandemic is, sort of not... I live in England, and we have recently lifted our COVID restrictions, but I also think that Boris Johnson is a knobhead, and that I don't necessarily want to just start going out and doing things because he can't justify lockdown anymore because his own bad behaviour. Like, it's like, maybe you can't justify it anymore because you've been terrible about this, but I can, because I have actually been doing that for the past 2 years. I'm getting angry on stream because I'm thinking about it, but I'm doing the tranquil activity of painting, and I can't really stay that mad. But yeah, no. At some point when I think it is sensible, I shall try and see if I can find some good folks to play some Warhammers with. There's a lot of, like, as with any nerdy thing, it tends to end up attracting a lot of outsiders, including a lot of the LGBT community, so I'll probably see if there's any LGBT positive things, or like any autistic groups, because that would be fun. That would be a good time, I think. Get those toes. Paint those toes. Get those toes. Get those toes. Hell yeah. Yeah, let's get this part done. It's looking pretty good, if I say so myself. Just checking again, just to make sure it's working again. Yes, it's good. Every time we do the stream, we learn something new, and we learn something important. And so I know now how to fix my camera, which is good. Put that guy over there, put his base with him. The final one! It's only coming up to 2 o'clock. I think we're going to have time to move on to the next paint colour, which I'm excited for. I say excited for. It's another shade of green! But it's a lighter shade of green, so we're going to get to do the start of some highlighting, I think. I'm looking forward to that. Would you like to know a secret? The secret is, there is another motivation for why I wanted to stop streaming Guitar Man, aside from just, there was a B-Man. When I exported it to YouTube, it had a copyright claim, because it turns out that all of the music in Guitar Man is not licensed for Twitch, because it's kind of an obscure game, which means I wouldn't be able to monetize it if I kept it up. So that's not so great. I'm gonna have to see how it is with the with the 007 Nightfire as well, but honestly, if that one, like, at least with that one, if it does end up getting claimed, I will probably keep that one up anyway, because it's good. Oh, it's the airport music! It's the airport lounge song. This is the song that used to start this playlist, but I've figured out how to refresh the music every time so that it's a different song. Yes, we're back in Kevin Land. It's a nice little song. It's made nicer by not having to listen to it at the start of every playthrough. I remember, Sally, you used to have you still have very good music, but I remember just tuning into your art streams and there just being a whole bunch of good music and the little thing that showed who all the artists were, and that was fun. I get why it changed, but I still wish it hadn't. Put you there. Wash my brush. Yes, exactly. I almost briefly snuck some other, some different this specific license agreement music into it, but I had to double check the terms of the arrangement, and it is any sound clip labelled with the SFX, so one cannot just plug entire songs into there. Just things which have the SFX label, which I think makes sense because that's a little bit more fair. But I had briefly considered plugging some instrumentals into there, but it was not going to be a thing. So doesn't really matter. This what I've got going on at the moment is good enough for me. Plus it helps extricate my brand a little bit. I've been aware recently of I, as a streamer, tend to get quite closely associated with other more popular streamers on this site, and it's cool and all, but also I am my own person, and I appreciate it when people come along and appreciate it for me, not just, oh, I've seen you elsewhere. And it's like, you have, congrats. I watch streams as well as do them myself. But, you know, that's the nature of the beast, I suppose. Came for the association with other streamers, stayed for the hopefully enjoyable stream content. Except for you, Sally, because you are a true friend and we have known each other for many, many years. The fact that it is now many, many years does make me feel extremely old. Insert that gif of Matt Damon and he's looking down and he just turns into an old man. It's gonna be 10 next year. Sally! Sally! You're right, but I hate it. I'm gonna be 28 this year. That's wild. I'm gonna be 28. What a time. The past 2 or no. This is gonna be my this is my 3rd birthday in lockdown, or self-imposed lockdown now, but still 3rd year since I've been able to actually go out and celebrate it with people. I say go out and celebrate it with people. The last birthday I had before the pandemic was me and my mum went to some art galleries, and that was a very nice time. Went to some art galleries, went to a hub box, got some good burgers and shakes. It was just a good time. Oh, I know where it was. We love an art gallery as well. We specifically went to the Tate Modern in St Ives, and also in St Ives the Barbara Hepworth Museum, which is not even so much a museum as it is just her house but refurbished into a museum, because one of the things that Barbara Hepworth did in her life, she was a British sculptor, and she worked in like these big abstract sculptures made out of metal and wood and ceramic, and she turned her garden into its own sculpture garden, so it's just very beautifully arranged sculptures, and it's just a beautiful place. Like it's designed so that the plants and the sculptures. Have I shown you that before? That's because it's very good. It's a really beautiful place. At least I think so. I think my mum possibly wasn't that enthused, but that's because my mum is a much better gardener than I am. So I think she probably sees it and sees the sort of nuts and bolts of how one would build it, and would probably just see it in terms of what she would be able to do with it if she could. Which isn't a bad thing. I think once you get good enough at something, you're more than within your rights to see it in that kind of critical sense. I think that's a thing that happens to anyone who gets good enough at what they do. They see it with that meta layer over the top. Gosh. I think this is done. Another one. Cool. This one. Closed. Slammed shut. Put it away. This brush. We're cleaning. Oh, I splashed a bit. We're cleaning the brush. Gotta make sure we don't have any green on it. There we go. I've removed the green from it. So that was that one. I think the next one we work on is this one. And now we need this attractively named Snot Green. This is a paint from 2003, thereabouts. It is very old, and you can see that it's very old. It is dry as bones. But the important thing about it is that it's dry as bones, but it's also resurrectable. Oh, camera! The camera saw the Snot Green and didn't like the name. It's true. That's because it's cowards. It's because it's a coward. So yeah, I'm going to try and get this. I'm going to put this sideways so that I can put water in it and the water will stay there. I'm going to do that because I want this to be as delicate as I can possibly make it. Because I just want to get in here. Just want to. Maybe that's too much. It needs a little bit more pigment in it. Let's see if that works. Just to catch the very edges. Yeah. Something like that. Won't be perfect. These things hardly ever are, but it's just to catch the very edges of the, just to get the tops so that there's a little bit of reflection. And the same one here on the shoulder pads. Go across the whole thing, but focus the pigment to the top. At least that's the idea. Yeah, the stomach. It's saying some things. Oh, Nelly. Yeah. Just try and infer that there's some light action happening. Won't be perfect, but it'll be good. The only thing The only thing you're missing from this experience is the smell of the paint, because the paints in these smell very good, and I like them. This is, like, if you're wondering how this is gonna turn out, your guess is as good as mine, because a lot of this is, as with a lot of this stream, experimentation. But I'm hoping that it will all come out looking pretty fancy. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good look. Just a little bit of a warm glow on the parts which really stick out, like on this arm here. Concentrate the pigment. The knees, gotta catch the tips of the. Let's get some more water on here. Dries out real quick. Yeah, get some light hitting the tops of these knee pads. That's the idea anyway. See how well it goes. You see, I've gone all quiet and croaky because I'm focusing. Focusing. I think some more hydration is in order. Hydration for me, hydration for my good old paint. Let's put just the faintest of stripes on here, just to say, hey, this is a place where light might catch. Not a lot, just enough. I don't want to, for sure don't want to overdo it on this. Get that mixed up in there. Those outermost edges. And if I can get this paint thick enough, then I can use this just to touch the edges of the finger joints. little bit of brightness. Just enough, not too much. Give that a little bit of massage. The edges of these little bits. Just like that. Just a little. Just catching the details. This is good music, I agree. I unfortunately can't actually tell you what it is at the moment. I would Shazam it, but I'm headphones. I'm gonna go all quiet for a bit, so if you want to Shazam it, you can if you want. Take some photos of this once we're done, because I think this is looking pretty good. So yeah, just trying to make sure I catch all of these little lights here. Not the lights, there's lots of little raised, I don't know if you can see that, the little raised dimples, so I'm trying to catch the green of those. Oh boy, I got the old shaky hands. See, for X is really useful because it means I put the music maybe a bit too loud. I think it's also, I've turned it down a little bit again. It also highly depends on where I am relative to my microphone and the different songs, because they are different loudnesses, but thank you for telling me. I shall try and keep it accommodated. Yeah. The old loud tunes. This is such a... Oh, I love painting! I love painting miniatures! That sounds facetious, but I mean it. I love it when little guys get detail. I get to think about what gets placed where and why it gets placed there. It fills me with joy and confidence. Yes, just gotta cover these little guys in paint. Need a bit more water. Bit more water for it. It's a little bit less dilute. Get right up in there. I've got just over an hour. I reckon I can get through these. There's a lot more attention to detail with this, but I reckon I can do it. This is it. This is how painting Warhammer works. Or any miniatures really. Oh my god, this is some real elevator music. Honestly, this also sounds familiar, but I'm not sure where precisely from. Probably in a lot of things. Yeah, a lot of YouTubers use this one. It's because it's good. It's some good interval music. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know how discernible a difference that is, but you can see I've just if I grab one that I haven't done yet, hopefully that will make it like, I don't know if you can see that the colours just pop a little bit better on this one. Like there's a bit of extra edge highlighting on the crest around the neck, like the fancy collar. That's the intention anyway. And then I can go over again with, eventually I'm going to use this even lighter shade of green, and then I can do just the very edge highlights of it, and that'll make it really sing. So that one can go away because I've painted it. And I think I just booped my camera, but it's muted, so that's fine. So now, let's do it all again. Now that I've done that first one, I should have a better idea of what I'm hitting where with what. Gosh, I love painting. What's great is this stuff dries very quickly, so it allows me to just really go to town on it a bit. A little bit more of the thing. Let me have a look. Yes, I'm glad that it all seems to be working so far. Again. I don't think Fire Worry is going to be for a while. I was just thinking about that when I'd be getting around to playing Fire Warrior, but I think I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh game to get through first. I've got a couple of games, but I'm excited to reach them. We'll see how it goes. kind of a fun little song I've got. Love that for me. Ah, this one's kind of chiptune-y. I like that. I say I like that. I mean, I hand-selected all of these songs. I don't know what. It was, the Thursday night before the first of these streams I did that. So I barely remember what I picked up. This one's cute. Get in there. Let's get those knees. Let's get those knees painted. There we go. Nice knees. I'm doing all quiet because I'm thinking about painting. Got an hour left and this one and 3 other models to try and paint in that time. And by paint I mean just kind of get these highlighty bits done. We'll see how it goes. I try and have them all of the ones I do complete, just so that if I end up needing to do it again, if I need to keep doing this next week, then I'll know where I have and haven't been, which is useful. There's no crime in just dappling a paint job with your fingers a bit. Get a little green, a bit of a green on my finger, but that's alright. Uh-oh. I think we're getting a bit funky with the music. Yeah. Little water. Little bit of water. Yes. Let's see how that does. I need more of a flat surface like these. Well, that's not really it. Oh, I know where to put them. Here. Just a little bit of stuff there, just to say that that leg is indeed reflecting just a little bit of light. Just a little bit here too, not too much. A little bit here too. just enough, just to infer the little depth. It's interesting to think about, I find, figuring out what to put where, just to say, hey, there's stuff going on here, like fingers. I've got to tell those fingers what to do. It's very fun. Just a teeny bit in there because there's a little stone there. I've got to tell if it's green. There we go. Very nice. Put in here as well. This one's already had some green on it, but I'm going to put some more green on it. A little bit more water. Mix it in. Get a nice tip going, because that's how you do it. Just a little bit of how you do it. Only a bit there. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. There's a little bit of stuff down here. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. I like it when the thing does the thing that I want it to. It's the ideal, really. Let's see. Yes, back to these back tube things. Oh no! I look away, I turn back, camera did it again. Camera's back! Now I know it's secret and I can just go in, out, bish bash bosh, Bob's your uncle, done. I think they can try and wig me out with all of these silly camera businesses. But I am smarter than them. Ooh, shimmering. I like it when shimmers. Bring new life to this. I wonder what it is about this setup that's causing it to crash. I do wonder whether it's the addition of the light. But I'd hope not, considering how many other things I have plugged in here. I'll have to look into that in my own time. Yeah, 3 hours of me going, this is good tunes, this is good tunes, and the occasional camera break, good. Lines on them. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Get those on there, and then I think this one's probably done. A little bit on there. A little bit more to this collar, and then probably will do it. Nice and tight in there, and then yeah, I think so. Et voila! Another one looking pretty good. Let's get this one painted. Let's get this one painted. What are you up to, Sally? Tell me what's going on. thing about painting with this little brush is I get kind of lines going on, which are not ideal, but I'm trying to blend them in a little bit. Doesn't tend to show up too badly. Try to be careful. Oh, I say, and then I'm uncareful. There we go. I have located more of the funk. It is fun to have the funk. Get in. Get in there! Yes. Go over here. Let's have a look. I think more on the knees a little bit. It's knees time even, because I haven't even touched the knees on this one yet. Knees. Knees! Get those knees. Get them looking shiny. There we go. There we go. Bit of a leg stripe just to say, hey, there's reflection. Yeah. Yes. A little bit of contrast, a little bit of highlighting. This ends the funk. Ooh, now what? It's a bit trancey at the moment. We've gone all trancey. I like it when a song is not afraid to amp itself up. This one is... It says it's time for doing the thing. That's synthwave for you. Remembering to keep my posture in check. I think that's the legs pretty much done, aside from just got to do the little toes of it. Yeah, that would do very nicely. I do love that paint smell. There's people in this hobby who actually, like, they will eat the paint. Like, they'll pick it up and they'll put it in their lips. And this paint isn't, like, toxic, so they're not gonna injure themselves doing that, but I'm also like, but what? But why, though? But why would you do that? The only thing about having the very dry paint is that it makes me have to be very observant of my moisture levels to get the right coverage. Oh yeah, that's a very good point, Sally. I do have some spray paint that I've been that I used to prime these guys before painting them with my hand paints. And yeah, you've got to be careful with aerosols. They make you go all funny in the head. And some different, not these ones, but there are other types of they're like more expensive resin models, which are the sort of the best Games Workshop models you can get. And those ones are very, if you like have to sandpaper anything off or like clean the model in any way, you have to wear a respirator because it is extremely toxic to the lungs. I don't buy those ones because I don't have a respirator, and also they're expensive. The models, I mean. I don't know how expensive a respirator is. I agree. Watercolour is good. These are all water-based paints for acrylics. Time it. That makes sense, Sally. It's also like, I don't know whether this was, if this happened recently, but like, I find I tend to get a bit more sensitive to things when it's cold. Like, my nose bungs up a lot more. I don't have these dust allergies or these pollen allergies as such. Oh yeah, love some synthwave. Oh, I remember this one from when I was searching, because this one's a weirdy one because it's in a... Wait, do I remember it from searching or do I remember it from... Oh, so 2019 around August, September. That makes more sense. I did wonder as I was asking, I was like, hang on, this could just be an old memory. Is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think so. This hand doesn't look like I've done it though. Let's do the hand. Yeah, the hand is the part I have missed. Uh-oh. We are back in the funky zone. I want to make clear that this is not a bit, and that I do indeed love the funk. Why would I be insincere about that? It's good. It's good music. Okay. I think that's another one done. Yes. That one can go away. Got 2 left. We got this guy again, and his broken pedestal. Funky is great. I saw a post recently on Tumblr talking about, was it on Tumblr or Twitter? It might have been Twitter. Talking about the concept of... Actually, am I about to steer straight out of my lane by talking about this? Maybe. It was to do about, with the... You know how the 21st of September by Earth, Wind and Fire tends to be used as a bit of a meme, and that this happens to a lot of black music, like music created by black people, and that it's treated as a bit of a joke, which is not fair, because it is actually good music, and people's cultures shouldn't be treated as a joke. I'm not even talking about like any one culture, it's ridiculous. think there's also there's a big difference between when something is intentionally done as a meme and when it is taken as a joke just for whatever reason. .3 I have half an hour left on my painting. Good thing it's not bunny paint. In fact, it has run its last marathon, so to speak. It is still a strange sensation trying to paint with an awareness of the fact that the camera is there and I need to keep the line of sight clear. But having this X really does help. It's a shame I won't be able to keep this because I will need to disassemble this straight after streaming. I think that's why I didn't like. I was thinking about respecting it as an art form. I think that's why I didn't like the B-man thing from Guitar Man, just because like it's genuinely good music. I think they do try and make all the music good, but the fact that like the whole thing is obviously kind of lighthearted already, but it does feel like he's at the expense of a joke rather than as part of the joke, if that makes sense. It's always a question of who is this for, and who benefits, and who loses out. It's a funny old one. Oh, I've missed a thing here. Let me rectify that. That's better. Add some dots. That one's too dark, I shouldn't get that one. But that one isn't. There we go. Put these ones here while I'm at it. hard to paint the detail on since it's not base. But I'll find a way. I always do. Hold it by the tip of his gun. Get these toes. Get the toes. There we go. That's better. Nice. Okay, so what is there left to do in this guy? There's little fingers, that's important. Well, I've got a fairly dry paint to get the fingers, because that means it lands a little bit stronger. This is why the consideration... Camera went off again! No! How long have I been staring at my art? Oh, camera. I wonder if my camera's like overheating. I wonder if that's to do with it. I don't know how to rectify that. It wasn't doing this before, but then I've been having all sorts of things recently. Can you see me again? Excellent. Let's see what I was doing. With those ones. I was doing the fingers. Fingers! Fingers are important. How else will this Wraithguard pick their non-existent nose? Riddle me this. Shifting into dots mode again. I want water, but also don't want it to get too thick. There we go, that's a nice consistency. Yeah, there we go. I do not know what causes the camera on and off again. All I know is it's something to do with the power supply. Bit more water. 10 past 3. I reckon we'll be done by the end, and by done I mean done with this snot colour specifically. nice getting into a flow with this sort of thing. I'm assuming you have that with your streams too, when you're doing your arts, and it's just this nice moment where you're just kind of just working on it, just doing it, not really thinking about much. I get too self-aware and start commenting on it though. Do these top parts. There we go. You can go and lie face down and think about what you've done. Last one. We can do this. Got 20 minutes. That's more than enough time. Hell, if it comes to it, I might just highlight a single one of them as a preview and then finish the stream. But I don't think we'll be that. I don't think we'll be that quick. Let's see how it goes. Butterfingers. I've been streaming for 3 hours, it makes sense. Trying to do the whole watercolour thing. You know that thing where watercolour can add a kind of gradient to the whole thing. Oop! As long as you don't... Oh no! I dropped it and then I picked it up and I bungled it because I put my thumb on it. I hate it when it happens. Happens more often than I like. Now I just have to be very careful and not touch that again and do these knees. These knees! Let me know if you need me to turn the sound down just because I think this is a loud song. This one's got kind of a 80s pop thing going on, which I like. To the surprise of no one. I don't think it's authentic 80s, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. So little is. of dots along their arm, like where the bicep is. I can't imagine that's comfortable. Double check to make sure that my camera has not gone off again every time that I do this. Oh, that was not a good application of paint. I'll be a little bit more careful than that. Getting those fingers. The last sets of fingers even. I was about to say 10 minutes, but in fairness, it's more like 15. Let me make sure I've got something set up in the background. Yes, all good. In here, get these bits. This bit is important. Ooh, blue hair coming out the paintbrush. There we go. Only a little one. It happens. Get this cowl some more. Got those 80s drum machine pads and synths. That's what you want to see. time of day, we're dots. This is the thing. We're hitting the turning point of how much I'm able to get done in a given stream, because last time we were just covering this in green and not really having much else to do, but now that we're starting to think about like specifically where and when we're putting stuff down, we're highlighting and stuff, every other part of the miniature is a lot smaller than the whole. That sounds ridiculous when I say it like that, but you know what I mean. Like, because we're putting more focus into it on smaller parts, it's gonna, I think, go by a little bit quicker than the first one. So we'll see how the next one goes, because I've got to paint these. Got to paint their little Wraithguard noggins. This last part to do. I think we're probably not going to get to the edge highlighting today, if that is anything to go by. Time. That is more than okay by me, because the edge highlighting will go by very, very, very quickly. So I'm happy to leave it to next week. I'm gurgling. I gotta eat some food. I can sort that out after I finish streaming. Last little bits around the collar to make it really pop. And yeah. I think just as a little bonus, just because I have a couple of minutes left, I am gonna grab my It's not even not worth pausing for that one. I think I've just been assigned some babysitting duties in a second, but I can do that. That'll be easy. Yeah, I've got these guys. I've got all of these guys. Oh, bumped my light. Lots of lovely little lads. And one last one, which is this guy. And he needs to be reattached to his base. Let me move these guys away again. They can hang out in the background. Good green guys. I love to see it. I hope you love to see it too. Do a bit of the glue. Save this man's feet from destruction. It's not going to be beautiful. It's probably going to fall off again at some point, but I can live with that. Just got to hold him in place for a little bit. Oh, this song again. It has returned. I've put my lid down somewhere and I don't remember where. Maybe it pinged off the table. I hope it didn't. That or it's behind this. It's not. We'll figure that out in a second. Oh. This is the tricky bit. Ah, there it is. It was hiding behind my hand. Trying to close this glue one-handed is tricky, but I did it. Whoop. I have a reminder set which, for 3:30 saying, "Unmute you Elgato or I swear to God," which is a message from my past to my present self because it's been bad. There's been issues. And it's been a tricky one. Just got to make sure this stays glued. Got to put some force into it. This is the part that I usually don't show you because it's not that interesting. Just trying to get it to stay upright just long enough. Yeah, I might get these guys in line. And there's the 5 guys. I don't know if that's actually. Let's boost our vision. Let me make those a little bit brighter. Ooh. Pots and fries, exactly. I don't think I can shuffle that around in the way I want, but oh, I've broken it again. But honestly, what a perfect place for it to break. Like, I honestly, I can live with the fact that it broke there. That's just, you know, how it is sometimes. I think that's a good note on which to finish, because I don't want to restart my camera again. People, friends, countrymen, it's been a pleasure streaming with you today. And on that note, I'm going to start disassembling my setup, and I'm also going to do a raid. Thank you for being here. I didn't want to say anything at the time, but it's one of those ones where one can just kind of stream by themselves and not have anyone watching, but knowing that there is at least, it's that Lady Gaga, if I know that one person is out there watching, then it makes all the difference, and Sally, it really does make a difference, so thank you. You are a nice person and a nice friend, and I enjoy spending time with you. On that note, you no longer, well, you will be spending time with me, but not here. We'll be spending time in another stream, because we are going to do a raid. Let's see if I can get this working. Have I spelled that correctly? Invalid. Oh, hang on. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, can I not? Have I? Let's have a look. Okay, we're not raiding today then. Alright, I am going to be going over to Brian David Gilbert's raid, that's who I'm going to be raiding, even though the technology doesn't seem to be working for it right now. That's alright. I shall see how that goes. So yes, that's where I'll be. You don't have to come. You can do what you want. The raid messages are, if you are interested though, this is the non-subscriber message, and this is the subscriber message. So that will be that, and on that note, I shall be off. Goodbye everybody! See you tomorrow where I'll be doing a good job of playing Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and not crashing and dying. We're going to be going back to Margaritaville with Bullseye Navoir. Until then, goodbye.